Welcome to self-discoverywisdom.com, formerly known as Self-Discovery Media. On these podcasts, you're going to hear people who speak from the heart. They've taken the journey in life. Many things have happened to them, but they've changed it to happening for them. And in their strength, their courage, they've discovered their abilities and their wisdom, and they are now sharing it here with you. Do enjoy each show. We bring it to you with love and knowing that it's going to help you on your journey of life. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome back to another show of Quantum Spirituality right here on selfdiscoverywisdom.com. I'm your host, Sarah Troy, and my wonderful repeat guest, Tom Paladino, who's also one of our mentors. We're going to be talking about something quite amazing today. Scalar Light is what he's been doing for a long time. Nikola Tesla's wonderful technology, and he's really finding discoveries left, right, and center on this. And today we're going to be talking about how it helps various types of cancer and tumors. This is quite a groundbreaking area here, but I do invite you to go back and listen to all his other shows because we talk about different topics in each show, and I know that it will illuminate you and just mind blow you of how this scalar light can really help your health. So he said today we're going to begin to treat the photographs of people with animals that are suffering from cancer and tumors. They want to prove the efficiency of the enhanced scalar light sessions to broaden audience. To date, people with skin tags, moles, tumors have reported a reduction in size with these conditions. Many people have reported their skin tags and moles are now non-existent after submitting the photograph for the enhanced scalar light sessions. The testimonies are quite favorable. The scalar light is a fundamental force in nature transmitted by the sun in our solar system. And as we had a solar eclipse last night, this is very, very appropriate, as well as the stars in the universe. Scalar light pervades the universe and is responsible for assembling matter, thus providing the atomic and molecular structure to all physical forms. We're going to talk a little more layman today so that we can really help people understand what it does. But really, when you think about it, folks, we are energy. Everything around us is energy. We hone in energy all the time. And when we look at the sun as actually feeding the planet, why is it not feeding us as well? It makes sense. So what we're doing is tapping into the resources that the universe and this beautiful world is giving us. And what he's doing, because of Nikola Tesla's wonderful technology that Tom has dedicated his life to, he's honing those beautiful gifts and channeling it into our health and seeing how that it actually can reconstruct us in many, many ways, and thus helping our health, helping our bodies to even heal itself. So it's a delight to have you back here again, Tom. And this is a huge breakthrough. I mean, cancer,
Yes.
let's break down what cancer is in a way that people can really understand. What is cancer?
Now it's a cell that just keeps multiplying. It doesn't have any guardrails. It doesn't experience the no normal cell growth cycle. So what is cancer? Well, in a scientific term, it's a manipulation of a base pair. But what is the end result? It's a proliferation of cells.
Mm.
The cells just go wild. They don't stop growing.
They're having a
So
party.
yeah, a rather nefarious party. You're right. You're right. So I've always worked with light, with energy in my career, because I believe light, energy, as a fundament of nature, can control everything, including the rate that a cell will grow. In other words, light dictates everything, including the life and regulation of a cell. And if I can use the correct light, the light to reprogram a cell, I should stop the overgrowth of a cell, this proliferation that needs to be curbed in some fashion. And I'll explain in theory at least what I'm attempting to do. Now, I want to be very clear that this is a new chapter for me in scalar light research. And if the audience isn't aware of my work, it's unique because I don't work with people.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. I don't work with people. I don't work with animals. I work with their energy field.
Mm-hmm.
This is not a biological process. I don't work in the field of medicine. All of my work is non-physical, outside of what I would call Newtonian physics. What am I getting at? This is my photograph. I work with photographs of people. There's an energy field to my photograph.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't work at the chemical level. I work at the higher level of intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
I would much rather work at the non-physical level of intelligence than at the biochemical level, where everything is so tardy and everything is so difficult.
Yes.
Whereas if I work with light, it's so much easier, and light will obey, if you will, a light instrument. And in so doing, if I keep it at light, I have a command over nature. At the chemical level, I do not have a command over nature.
Right. We can't live without light. I mean, countries, is it Alaska that goes into darkness for a period
Yes.
of time, right? So, and we know, you get SADs in the winter when there isn't enough sunlight, right? And everybody gets really down. And we know how sunlight can lift you right up. Now, yes, it's not just because it's pretty in the sky, right? It is actually sending us rays of energy that we just soak up on the body, going, thank you. I'm being rejuvenated. But what you're doing is you're harnessing that particular energy through your instruments. And without anybody having to be present, just a photograph, which, as you said, every single thing has a signature. Every single thing
Yes.
has a signature. And all you're
Yes.
doing is tapping into that signature and honing that energy in so that it can
Yes.
go and poignantly work on something
Yes.
instead of just generically.
Bravo. Bravo. I could not have said it better. You're very articulate. Bravo. Now, I'm going to hold up a photograph. This is scalar energy. This is a scalar wave.
Mm-hmm.
Take a good look at that.
Yes, it's like our DNA, right?
Yes.
Exactly.
It's a double helix. Now, this is the energy that I work with. It's not electricity.
Mm-hmm.
This is consciousness. This is the mind of God.
Mm-hmm.
This is the creative strength of God. This is not electricity. It's not magnetism. This is the energy that is emanating from the sun and the stars. This is the life force energy. It's a double helix. It's perpetual energy. Okay. Now, you're right. This is the energy that downloads it into us and creates our DNA. You'll see the same double helix structure.
Yes. Yes.
By ratio and proportion, it's identical.
Mm-hmm.
A scalar wave creates our DNA.
Yeah.
Remember that statement, because I'm going to go back to it. A scalar wave creates and maintains our DNA. So our DNA dictates who we are, soul, mind, and body in many ways. Mm-hmm. So if we can take a scalar wave and not only create DNA, then we should be able to take a scalar wave and correct DNA.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Oh, well, I'm going to go into a language that most people understand. God. When people pray to God, they're praying to a divine energy. They're asking God to listen to their prayers and hone in that energy into what they're praying about. You are taking God-like energy, God source energy, whatever anybody wants to call it, but divine energy, and you are honing it in to the issue. What you're doing it though is through instruments where it really pinpoints. When we're praying, unless we're actually pinpointing something, we kind of get something that's a little more encompassing, right? Not always quite so directional. So, but it is the same principle, isn't it? It's the same divine energy that but you've managed to harness it in a scientific way.
Yes, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. So the key to my work is there's no human reasoning. I only work with light. Light is the animating force. Mm-hmm. And when I work with people, I don't work with people physically. I work with people through their aura in their non-physical sense. So there's nothing to go wrong. It's not a physical process. It's not a biochemical process. It's not a one-on-one interaction, interchange. There are no in-person sessions. Working at the level of intelligence, which is the intelligence of the photograph, I have incredible results. Incredible results. Okay.
So it's kind of bypassing human ego, human intellect,
Yes,
right? It is really
yes,
kind of honing in that beautiful divine essence, which is also healing and also wise. This is why the show is called, self-discovery wisdom, is that that wisdom is accessible to us at any time if we know how to hone it and download it for the purpose that is needed. That is exactly what you've done. You've taken the universal energetic wisdom and you've
yes,
honed it into a device that then taps into our energy and speaks to the issue at hand.
precisely, precisely.
And
And
no
that's,
ego involved, no no pharmaceutical involved, no
right,
big money involved, right?
right.
This is something that is direct.
It is direct and it's directly from God
Yeah.
because light is fundamental.
Hmm.
Now, keep in mind, anytime you're working with a household appliance, you don't have to tell electricity how to behave. Okay, it follows laws. I don't have to tell my instrument how to behave. It
Mm.
follows the laws of science. So, with this understanding and with this ideation moving forward, our DNA is a double helix.
Hmm.
And I've always asked myself, why? Why would God create a corkscrew?
Yes.
That's the DNA molecule.
Hmm.
It actually has three dimensions to it. Okay. What's the point of a DNA molecule? I can only answer that in the light of scalar energy, that scalar energy does indeed create and maintain DNA.
Hmm.
Now, if this theory is correct, we're about to change the world.
Yeah.
If my theory is correct that a scalar wave creates a DNA wave, and that a DNA wave is a standing scalar wave, and that we can take a scalar wave and correct our DNA, this opens up a new branch of physics,
Yeah.
and perhaps a new branch of medicine. But again, this is not medicine; it's a new branch of physics first and foremost.
Well, it's
Okay,
a new form of healing. And
yes,
really
it
what
is.
it's doing, it's charging our own body's DNA to optimize.
Yes,
Right, so
yes,
it's not
correct.
dictating that, it's not cutting out, it's not doing this, it's really kind of that. Look, we have wi-fi phones, wi-fi computers, wi-fi everything else, right? You can charge things kind of just holding it up in the air nowadays, so why can't we take that energy and direct it in? Our bodies are absolutely phenomenal the way they're put together. It's actually quite extraordinary, but what they need is, as you said, maintenance, or they need sometimes directional help in certain areas, and it knows what to do if it's given the right energy. So what
Right.
you're doing is providing the right energy so that it can actually harness the area that is weak in energy.
Thank you. Well spoken. Well spoken. Now, getting on to my discovery. I've enhanced these instruments. Behind me, I'm going to show. This is one of the scalar energy instruments that I work with. I've improved a technique. I've enhanced the energy. How have I done that? I believe I've enhanced the strength, the accuracy of the double helix.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I only work with scalar light. It's not sinusoidal. It's not electricity. I've enhanced this scalar wave. That's what I've done. Now, I've been at this now for just shy of a month. And the response that I'm getting from people is quite telling. It's quite promising.
Mm-hmm.
So again, to set the tone, I've only been at this now for, this is, I think, day 28, day
Mm-hmm.
28. And I'm having good success.
Right.
Very, very good success. Now, what does that mean? Well, people are telling me that if they had a skin tag, some type of skin tag or some type of wart,
Yep. We seem to have frozen for a moment. Bear with us,
that the
folks. Oh,
skin
sorry.
tag is shrinking. And
So, okay, you froze for a moment. Okay.
so we're skin tags, and they're saying that their skin tags are shrinking in size. This is wonderful news.
Mm-hmm.
Wonderful news. Others are telling me that they've had, if you will, perhaps a mole, some type of mole, and that mole is likewise shrinking in size. Now, I've had some people who've had tumors, and they believe, this is their opinion now, They believe that their tumor is shrinking in size. Now, this is new. It's anecdotal, obviously.
Mhm.
Um, uh, to be clear, I'm the only one in the world with this instrument. I'm the only one in the world who can access a photographic dimension as
Mhm.
I can with this instrument. So I have to now rely upon the testimonies of people that to access a person's aura, their force field, is producing some type of relief for a skin tag or a tumor. So again, it's promising, but we've only been at it now for 28 days.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wanted to give Sarah a shout out, and I wanted to mention this to her, and let's monitor where this goes over
Yes.
the next 6 months, over the next 12 months.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
I will say what I've seen thus far from many people. I've already worked with probably 50 people with cancer and tumors, that the results are promising thus far.
So, and this result, because you've had many results in many other areas, but this result is because you enhanced
Yes.
the helix
Yes.
and you strengthened that thing, which again makes sense, right? When you need something to do more work, you need to strengthen the energy. So that's really
Yes.
what you've done is strengthened the download so that it now can actually reach those type of areas that before it couldn't quite reach.
Yes. Well spoken. Yes. Well spoken. So now, as a corollary to that, a number of people that I've worked with, and some of these people I know quite well, have told me that they had rheumatoid arthritis or
Mm-hmm.
some type of arthritic condition. And after this new and enhanced uh, scalar wave, let's call it the enhanced scalar wave session, they say that the rheumatoid arthritis is significantly improved. They're not in so much pain, or that their arthritic joints are now they're more nimble, or they have a greater sense of range of motion, less inflammation.
Mm.
Now,
And
all of that
inflammation is
once,
the killer, right? Inflammation
yes,
is the killer.
yes, it is. Yes, it is. So all of that points again to the fact that I have this enhanced program in which I can, with greater accuracy, administer this energy
Mm.
to the force field. Again, not to people, but to the force field, in this case, on a photograph force field. So from one force field to another force field.
Mm-hmm.
Now, keep in mind, if I only work with a force field of energy to my force field on a photograph, there's no chemical reaction. There's no intermediary. There's no physical body. There's no Tom. There's
Mm.
only my aura
Exactly.
associating with the aura of scalar energy. This is non-physical consciousness. It has nothing to do with the physical body. It has nothing to do with chemicals. It has nothing to do with medical disease. It's a new branch of physics in which we can access information through the aura or a person's energy field.
I want to go a little bit far out here, okay? I'm thinking that if this can be enhanced even more and multiplied around the world, is it possible that we could actually change the energies of people to being more positive and
Yes,
less warlike?
yes, that's one of my goals. Now,
Right, I'm
if
with you.
if if this energy can work with one person, right?
What would it
This
be like? Yeah,
Yeah. What would it be like? You're absolutely right. With a million people.
yes, yes.
Yes.
Now, what would it
It.
take to do that? You would obviously have to strengthen the machines and they would have to be placed in various parts of the world, right? Which is actually going
Yes.
back to ancient technology of the pyramids, which in the Bosnian pyramid that was discovered, they discovered that there were 1,000 pyramids placed around the world, and they were all directed at tapping into the universe to be the energy that would energize the world and all that we needed. And then something came along and took it all away, right? But basically what you're doing, not from the pyramid point of view, but from the instrument point of view, which means that strategically and obviously strengthened could be placed in various parts of the world. And that collective energy can start changing. Because I think a lot of the reason why we're having so much disease today is that people are in a state of misery. They're in a state of hopelessness, a fear of everything's going up, there's just more worlds, there's more disconnect, there's more this and that, and what hope is there for the future? Well, we are the hope for the future, but we need a little help. And this is, where prayer, or this is where divine energy comes in when you allow it to come in. It actually shows you a path of hope, of love, of possibilities, if we allow it. But if we've got a device that is strategically placed around the world that can help maintain that energy and enhance that energy even more, just look what kind of world we can have. And I think this is where we're going. With AI, with all the machines and instruments out there, they're not here to take us over. They're here to help us
Right.
raise up to another level that we're so far behind on. We have to raise our consciousness up. We have to step up into this newer consciousness of love, caring, compassion, of creativity, and not destruction. But we need help in doing that. And if we need your scalar energy strategically placed and enhanced and strengthened around the world, then that's what we need. So some of you billionaires out there that are flapping around with your money, get behind this, because for goodness sake, we're going to destroy ourselves at the rate that we're going. And we are meant to rise up to a higher level of consciousness. It's all there waiting for us, but we don't know how to do it. So we need your instrument, not just to heal us, but to actually heal our souls and heal our consciousness so that we can rise up to that other beautiful creative level of possibilities that we haven't even thought of.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much. So we're taking away this dog eat dog mentality,
Yeah.
and I mean that.
Yeah.
What's the point? This energy is from the sun and the stars.
Yes.
There's no limit to scalar light.
Mm-hmm.
There's no limit to stars. It's an
Or
unlimited,
universes.
right. So what's the point? We don't have to fight for oil. We know, and the audience is well aware, that we've gone to war, or we've had terrorist attacks over oil,
Yes.
or we've had revolutions over oil, over gold, over resources. If our resources are free from the stars, we're not going to fight anymore.
And that means that we have to change our mind climate around climate change. And that means we have to change the way we do business. We have to change what really is true, the economist of the world. And the economist of the world is human consciousness rising up.
Yes.
That's really where the true economist is. But when we've still got the old paradigm of greed and power, which leads to war and poverty and famine, when we've still got that kind of mentality, we cannot embrace this type of technology, because people, it's all their bottom line, it's their pocket, don't mess with their pocket. But this means that we, as the common man, has to say, no, we're not going to put up with that anymore. We're not going to empower these people. We're going to hold them accountable. We're going to say, okay, take your billions, now invest it back into humanity, back into the planet, because this isn't about you and your ego. This is about us as a collective. And the only way we're going to survive as a human species is to get out of this opulent way of thinking and think more of us as a village and a community. And that means it starts with us. What are we going to do about it? So whether you have cancer, whether you have anything, you need the scalar energy just to maintain your positive thoughts so that you can be a part of the solution.
Yes, bravo. Well stated once again. So this is a win-win-win for everybody. Okay. Well, again, this energy from the sun and the stars, it's non-physical. It does not pollute.
Right.
There cannot be a gas. There cannot be a chemical reaction. It's non-physical intelligence. Okay?
Right.
When I match it up to my aura or to my energy field, I'm not working, hence it's not a chemical, hence I'm not working at the chemical level.
Right.
It's not medicine. I'm not working at the biological level. It's the level of intelligence. My photograph carries my intelligence. A scalar wave is inbuilt intelligence. If I have now enhanced this scalar wave appropriately, I should be able to send the intelligence of scalar energy into my DNA once again. And if I could do that, then I should be able to correct my DNA and the DNA of others. Okay.
Now, here's another thought. We know, and it's been proven, that people are harnessing traumas through family DNA, even past life DNA, and people are, don't know why they're so traumatic, or, or carrying something. Where did it come from? And it can be passed down. from family member to family member. Now, if you're going in with the scalar energy and you are enhancing your own DNA to be optimized, you're also healing the trauma that you're dragging around with you that isn't yours in the first place.
Right. Thank you. I agree with you. You're absolutely right. So this again shows you what I would consider the all-encompassing healing that's, if you will, afforded by scalar light, the light of God.
Yeah.
Okay, we're not speaking at, again, the biological level. When you're at the level of intelligence,
Yes.
energy dictates everything.
Yeah.
Energy dictates nature. So we're working with a primal force. That primal force is infinite intelligence, and you can't go wrong. Well, many people will say, well, how did you do it, Tom? And the first thing I say, I don't do anything. It's the intelligence of the energy. The problem is we don't have enough people who understand scalar energy. We need a greater number of researchers who can work with this energy.
Yeah.
Okay, it's not an electromagnetic device. Okay, so where are we going with this conversation? I want people to go to our website and to sign up for our 15-day free session. I always want to prove my work. Right now, and we're recording this and during the month of April of 2024, I want to be able to show in a year from now that we've had great success with this enhanced format, that the scalar wave is now producing what we would consider favorable results.
Yeah.
Give it a year. I don't want to rush this. The past month has been stellar.
Yes.
Stellar results. Stellar. In less than a month, incredible results over a broad population. Today, for instance, I've worked with hundreds of thousands of people, hundreds of thousands of people. And those people who've reported to me thus far telling me that their skin tags are shrinking in size, or they no longer have rheumatoid arthritis. So,
but you've been, I've been one of your clients for a long time now, and even though I may have been hit, I have a beautiful grandson that brings everything back from daycare. Little petri dish that loves to share everything with grandma, right? And although I've been hit with these things and it's various variants of COVID, God knows how many variants there are now, but I think I've been through them all. But I'm a bronchial asthmatic. Now, in the past, if I got hit with that, I would have been in serious trouble. So I have 2 or 3 days of, not feeling very well, but then come out of it and come out of it a lot quicker. And I'm not going down that rabbit hole. I'm not going down the bronchial. I'm not going down needing antibiotics. I'm a few days not feeling very well and then snap right back out of it. And I think it's very much with that scalar stopping it, going into that deeper level, where in the past, that would have been most certainly either hospitalization or most certainly, the whole stream of antibiotics.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. So again, it's a new and emerging science, scalar science. I've had favorable reports from people around the world. And in order to prove this science, we'll first have to identify this other branch of physics, scalar physics, which is apart from Newtonian physics. And once we do that, then we can start, if you will, trying to form some type of scientific model, some type of scientific explanation and theories, if you will, to support this work. Right now, very few theorists are out there. Very few scalar energy practitioners are out there. Very few people have a scalar light instrument. But that's going to change. So
yes.
Those of you who've heard this for the first time, we are on the ground floor. And there's only one place to go is up. And I will predict that scalar energy, this technology will change the course of history.
And not just in the sense of our DNA, physical, but in our consciousness, in our collective consciousness, because we are energy, but everything around us is energy. So if you're changing the structure of the energy around us, you know how you walk into a room and go, oh, this has got a great vibe, right? I really, amongst my tribe, amongst my vibe tribe. Well, that energy is a collective energy that feeds each other and lifts each other up. So scalar energy isn't just helping our DNA, it's helping kind of the structural DNA, the cosmic DNA all around us as well. And so again, beyond the health factors, and where does disease come from? Dis-ease, right? It comes from obviously bad nutrition, it comes from our environment, but it very much comes from the sorrow that we carry within us, the disconnect from life. And so many people are suffering right now. Like here in Canada, 52% people that they've interviewed have, suffer from depression. Why are we seeing so much anxiety and depression and hopelessness right now in an era where there's so much available to us that we could expand and enlighten and tap into that wisdom? Why are we not doing so? And I think a great deal of it is that heaviness that we've been weighed down with for so long. So let's change that frequency. Let's get that scalar energy in our lives. It all starts and with each and every one of us. It's not for the billionaires. Oh, yes, yes, billionaires, come on down. Just get behind the technology. It's for us to be a part of that technology, part of this wonderful instrument, and show the proof, lighten up and become higher conscious, where we start seeing the possibilities and we embrace the unknown. And I think one of the biggest problems with people is they will trust God whom they can't see and they can't touch, but they feel within inside of them, right? God spoke to me, God guided me. Scalar energy is that godlike energy. It's doing the same thing, but it's not necessarily speaking directly a message, although it will if you tune in, if you change your channel, but it's speaking to your body, to your well-beingness, to your consciousness, to your aura, to the essence of who you are. And if more and more of us can step into that higher essence, we
Yeah.
then become that solution. We then
Yes.
become that answer of enlightenment. And we're at a crutch in society right now where I knew this year was going to be a year of change. I knew this year was going to be a pivotal change in the world. And there's no accident that you have come across this right now, or that you've extended that strength of that scalar energy, because this is the year of where we're going to go from, here right up. It's the year of wonderment. And I think that if each one of us could step into that,
Right. Thank you
right?
so much. Yeah, bravo. God bless your attitude. Now, this goes back to Nikola Tesla. Who's the
Yes.
first scientist? Nikola Tesla was the first scientist to harness scalar energy. And Tesla was having incredible results. Apparently, when he was experimenting in Colorado Springs, the report is that Tesla and his coworkers felt a surge of energy
Mm-hmm.
anytime they were around scalar energy, and they felt that their general health, their general vitality improved while they were working in the vicinity of this scalar energy instrument. Well, I don't again work in person with people. I work with the aura, but
Mm-hmm.
nonetheless, I can access a person's aura,
Yes.
their force field.
Mm-hmm.
Now, some of you might find that peculiar, but consider this. Sarah and I are having an exchange through our computers.
Exactly.
Right? I can see Sarah and her computer. Sarah can see me and my computer. So this is not an in-person, if you will, interview. We're having a interview at a distance, or we're having an interview telephonically. Well, if we can communicate at a distance, why can't I use a photograph of a person? I don't care where they're at, but I
Exactly.
can access the person through their image, just like I can access Sarah through this computer.
Tapping into the
So,
frequency, right?
yes, exactly. So, not everything has to be done in person,
Right.
which further bolsters my point of how people can teleport. You've heard the term
Mm-hmm.
teleportation. Well, that's true because when I place a person's photograph inside that scalar energy instrument, that person is now teleporting to my instrument.
Mm-hmm.
There are two Toms here in the physical body,
Mm-hmm.
but this is my glorified body. This is my aura that I'm teleporting to.
Mm-hmm.
So I never work with flesh and bones.
Mm-hmm.
I work with their teleported version. I work with their bilocated version, which is their photograph.
Right.
This is so promising, people, where we're going with this. It's a
Yes.
new way of looking at reality.
You're
So
working with
join,
the essence of people.
yes, the essence,
Yes.
their non-physical spirit, their
Mm-hmm.
essence.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you're Newtonian bound and you only believe in a materialistic universe, well, you're out of luck
Mm-hmm.
because this is not Newtonian science. This is not electromagnetic theory. This is not flesh and blood. This is the consciousness. This is the energy field that I have or anybody has, and that energy field can be imparted on a photograph. One photograph or photographs of millions of people, That's what we access, the signature of a person, not the biological person.
Exactly. And I think this is something that we need to actually understand and how to separate. We are spiritual beings having a human existence,
Yes.
right? The human existence is the flesh, is the organs, is the vessel that we're in. And very often that vessel, if it's not looked after, it can be in trouble and needs help. When you're in the spiritual consciousness of that wisdom, of that higher intelligence,
Yes.
and you immerse it into the body, you have so much better understanding of why you're here, what you're here to do, what life really is all about. And you step into the essence of that, and just being passionate about that energizes you. Well, you're taking that same beautiful divine energy and pinpointing it into each one of our energies, giving us a boost. You're the vitamin C that we need in our body in order to maintain that enthusiasm, that joy, that wisdom, that love.
Yeah. Thank you. I'm going to digress quickly. I'm going to hold up a photograph of riboflavin.
What,
I do
sorry,
not,
what is it?
this is riboflavin. This is vitamin B2. This is
Oh,
a
okay.
magnified photograph of riboflavin. Per se, I do not take multivitamins. I do not ingest multivitamins. I receive my vitamins through energy.
Mm,
If I take that photograph of riboflavin and I match it up or make it communicate with my photograph, I
hmm.
am downloading the energy of riboflavin into me.
Right, right,
This is
right.
how this is how I receive my nutrition. It's a new science in which we can take the energy field of riboflavin and download it into my energy field. These two photographs are communicating. They are cooperating with one another. It's consciousness
Yes,
at the non-physical level, not at the chemical level.
right.
It's a new science that we're just starting to broach. It's so promising because we can do so much more. It's so much easier at the non-physical level than
Mm,
it is at the physical. I'm going to give the audience a for instance. 50 years ago, if you had a phone, it was a landline and you had to have a physical connection to your phone.
right.
Now, very few people have a landline. It's so much easier to have a cell phone that will send a signal and not have to rely upon a physical landline and physical telephone wires.
Right.
Okay, so this is sort of, if you will, non physical communication.
Mm,
Well, this is now non physical communication without the landline. A human being in the flesh is the landline that's bound by space that is, if you will, still under the constraints of time and space,
hmm.
as opposed to my photograph that transcends time and space. So what would you rather do? Be at the non-physical level or be at the brick and mortar level and still be at the chemical level?
If you're at the other level, you're tapped into a false energy. When you're into the other energy level, you're actually in divine energy. And it's not just energizing the body, but it's downloading the wisdom that you need. And knowledge is knowledge. Unless we know or have the wisdom to actually understand how to use that knowledge, all it is data.
Yeah.
And that wisdom that we're downloading guides our knowledge and how to use it in a way that is relevant or prevalent to the moment that we're in. So
Thank you.
this is what you are doing with the scalar energy. You're taking that divine energy and you are using the intelligence of the body to know where it needs to go at the time that it needs to go, to do what it needs to do. And it's getting out of the way of human ego. We don't need the human ego. We don't need the human intellect. We don't need the human participation. All we need to do is just open up and be ready to receive. That's it. It's a
Bravo.
trust factor.
Yes, it is. Bravo. Thank you for explaining that once again. So this is the new paradigm that's coming
Mm,
forward, people. This is the new way of living
yes.
in which
And
we're
boy,
no
we need
longer,
it.
oh, yes, we're no longer bound. We're no longer
Yeah,
slaves to the brick and mortar. We're
right.
looking at the level of intelligence. Imagine if every home in the world can be illuminated by scalar energy, and
Mm-hmm.
we don't have to worry about transponders and
Mm.
oil wells
Uh-huh.
and oil tankers and conduit. and substations and satellites. If we can just send that energy anywhere in the world, free energy from the stars through a free infrastructure, that solves our problems.
Well, this is
That's
what
what I want
Tesla
to
was
do.
all about in the first place, wasn't he?
Yes, I want to solve problems.
Exactly. Now, let's look at the obvious. While people are still making loads of money on oil, on energy, on police forces, on military. I mean, you look at how much money goes into military all the time to defend from each other. Why can't we put that same amount of money into the technology that is going to take us to a place where we don't need war,
Yeah, thank
right?
you. So instead of putting so much money into consumptive goods
Yeah,
and services, why don't we put our money and effort into productive goods and services? The world would change overnight practically.
yeah.
We
And you know, we've
cannot
got
keep living like this.
no, we can't. We can't. And the thing is, we have the fight going on right now of oil versus alternative energy, and right. And there's still this fight going on where people want to be, back in the slave age of oil and fossil and things like that because people made money out of it and they, don't want to let go of their comforts. And then you've got the alternative energy, and then people are saying, but it hurts the environment. It does this, it does that, and you have the argument all the time. What if we stopped arguing? What if we actually opened up our minds and go, okay, millions of people would be out of work in that sector. How about we take those people, retrain them, and put them in another sector that actually is more beneficial to this planet and to all living beings on it?
I could take so many people who are involved in defense or what we
Mm,
call the War Department, and which is destructive, and put them into something constructive.
yes,
The world would change. We're fighting against ourselves. This
all
is
the
not
time.
it's not working. It's failing.
Well, I've said this on our other shows because it was a saying given to me 6 years ago by the universe. The universe is going to shake us up, to wake us up, for us to step up, to change it up and grow up. And the grow up is grow up vibrationally, but also grow up. Quit the whining and the bitching and the being nasty to each other. It is so counterproductive. And
It
it is
is. It
so
is.
Neanderthal. When are we going to rise up to a higher level, please?
Many people ask me, what would you do, Tom, to change the world? One of the first things I say is to stop fighting.
Let's try and get
Uh,
along. We
I,
don't have
I
to
don't care if
agree
it's
in
a
everything.
marriage. I
Yes,
don't care if it's a marriage, a corporation, a
yes,
government. I don't care if it's a lemonade stand.
yeah.
If you stop fighting and work together, it's things will work out.
And not if this is not kumbaya and this is not, all love and peace and oblivion. It is about agree to disagree without having to hate each other, without having to annihilate each other. We if we put all of our perspectives on the table and we truly had the conversation, we'll understand that we're all saying the same thing from a different point of view. But while we're constantly in defense of our perspective and unwilling to listen to someone else's, we're always going to be in conflict.
We are. Yeah, we have to stop that. It's a
Mm.
mindset.
It
You know,
is.
every
It's a
every day
human
I
weakness, actually. It's a human weakness.
every day I have goals. I would highly encourage people get up in the morning, have one
Mm.
or two goals. It does a number of things. Obviously, it goal orients your life, but it automatically reduces friction. It automatically makes you apolitical because you're not working towards a political agenda. You're simply trying to improve your business, your life, your society. And when you have these goals, and I do, I live an apolitical life. I make great strides every day,
Mm.
and I'm productive. And I,
Because
I
you've
wish,
opened up and ready to receive, and you've got your ego out of the way.
yes,
You have your
yes,
agenda out of the way. What you do is you have a calling, you have a purpose, and that is to serve other people. And what we're here for is to serve one another, right? We're not here to serve each other on a plate. We're here to serve each other, to uplift each other. We've all got a purpose. Every single one of us is here for a reason. And the quicker that we step into that purpose and become part of the solution to ourselves, we then become a solution to each other. But instead of pointing fingers, oh no, it's the government's fault, it's this one's fault, it's that one's fault, it's my mother's fault, and start taking ownership over our own choices and go, okay, if I'm dissatisfied with life, what am I going to do about healing myself, looking at what my possibilities are, discovering what my purpose is, stepping into service of one another. You've already elevated yourself. You're already rising up with that beautiful essence. And what your beautiful instrument does is taps into that essence and echoes it out even more.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Well,
It's up to us, isn't it? It's always
it,
up to us.
it really is. And people just take baby steps. Every
Mm-hmm.
day I take baby steps in my laboratory. And after, if you do that throughout the year, 52 weeks out of the year, you'll make great progress, whether it's in a laboratory or your life. And I just want to give everybody encouragement. There are answers out there, and those answers are with us, within us, and working in communion with God and working in harmony with one another. So,
And I don't care if you're an atheist. If you don't want to look at it as a godlike energy or godlike wisdom,
right,
look at it from a scientific point of view, right? The science is there. The science is there. It's indisputable. So again, it doesn't matter how you look at it. Oh, I don't believe in God. I only believe in science. Okay, fine. The science is already proving itself. Embrace it, right? Whatever way you want to do, but embrace it in a way that you use it in a way that enables and enhances each other. Because
right.
we know it's a divine energy. For people who are very scientific and only want to see the rationale of it, the proof is there. You can measure it. So many scientists now actually have begun to measure people that live in a state of love. And they realize that they're actually living in a higher hertz, a higher frequency. They're beginning to measure it, right? So whether it is a scientific point of view and you want the proof, get the measurement out. Try it yourself. How do you feel? Put your little device on yourself. Have you elevated, right? If you need to prove it, do it. But partake. Give it a try and see for yourself.
Thank you. Well spoken. So, and just a corollary to that, energy is fundamental.
Mm-hmm.
Energy follows the laws of science, and regardless of your political uh, aspirations, your religious beliefs, your philosophical beliefs, etc., energy you cannot argue with.
Yep.
It's fundamental.
Yep.
It follows the laws of science. Regardless of your background, regardless of your religious belief, energy cannot be changed. It's fundamental. So I believe my work and the work with others who are going to advance scalar energy, when you're working with fundamental primal energy, you cannot have an argument. You cannot argue with something that's guided by the laws of science.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I don't care what your political affiliation is,
Mm-hmm.
you're not going to change this fundament.
Right.
Okay? So energy should unite mankind
Yes.
because there's only one
The common
option, which
denominator.
it is the
Yeah.
common denominator. You cannot, you can only have one opinion, which is energy is fundamental. Regardless of your background, energy will unite mankind. It's fundamental.
We've just got to get out of our own way.
Yeah, you
And,
can't argue with that.
really, quite honestly, whether you're doing this for health, which start off with this, start off with doing it for your health, for doing it for your mental well-being, doing it for, I just want to see how I feel on this, use your own experiment and join and experience it for yourself. But we know logically when we're around people who are elevated, it elevates us. We feel healthier, happier. Life has more meaning. When we're around people with doom and gloom, then what happens? You slide down that way. Scalar energy is that happy. It is that elevation of your consciousness, elevation of your health, elevation of what is possible. And the more you immerse yourself into it, and you're around other, you can ignite that in other people around you. It becomes contagious, right? Happy can become contagious, folks, right? But what you do is you sign up with Tom and you start going down the journey yourself of feeling it for yourself. Start seeing whether you have cancer, whether you have any other issues, or whether you're just a person that's actually feeling rather miserable and you just need to uplift yourself. Sign up. Go down the path. Remember, it takes time to get in there and re-change things. Whatever it's got to do, it takes a while to re-energize. And maybe start in your journal taking note of little things and little changes and little points of view and the little ways that you feel, because it's subtle and it's the little things that add up. And when you look back and go, Yeah. Okay. I'm now seeing the difference, but document it as you go on the little things, because those little things become big.
Yes, well spoken. And actually, I've taken a journal and I've recorded my results over the past month, and it's been quite revelatory even for me. And I'm the inventor.
Yes.
I'm seeing an incredible change. So with that, I just want to say thank you to the audience. Um, God bless everybody for your attendance today. Go to my website, scalarlight.com, SCALAR, Scalar Light, LIGHT, scalarlight.com. Visit the website, and then you decide. You're going to simply email us your photograph. That's all.
Mhm.
That's all you're going to do, and we do the rest. And with that, you monitor how you feel. You tell us how you feel. I
And what
think
you
you're
do, you
doing,
send out daily emails on what is
yes,
actually happening. So, it's not like you've handed yourself over and you have no idea. You're saying today you received, and every single day you can see what you are receiving. And it's
yes,
like every little day, jot down a
yes,
little note. How do you feel today?
yes. That's it. That's exactly right. And that's what is is going. That's so pertinent. That is what it will take. Again, this is a new science. If you want to be a trailblazer, this is it. This is the time, people, to be a trailblazer. This has never been done before. So if you're looking for peer-reviewed papers, there are none, because
Mhm.
nobody has duplicated my work yet with this instrument. So join me. We'll be at the vanguard together of this movement.
You know, Forget about trying to get rich quick on crypto. How about you invest in the future and where we can duplicate this technology, where it can be placed in different places of the world, where it can be enhanced and even made bigger, and then invest in the long term. Invest in the future. Again, there are so many people that have made an awful lot of money. Now they become paranoid over their money, right? There is, do people only like them for their money and they're so busy protecting their money that they've forgotten how to live? How about you take some of that money and you invest it? Duplicate this machine around the world, make a bigger machine, have the scientists and people working together and really measuring it. You're now being constructive with your money. You are investing in the future, investing in the planet. And let us not forget something, folks. Yes, it helps us human beings. But when we lighten up in our energy, when we step into that higher essence, we are not burdening this planet with so much heavy energy and heavy misery or bombing or anything else that we're doing, rape and pillaging this planet. We actually lift the energy up of the planet and look up the growth that it will give us back in its produce and everything else that we need to sustain ourselves. So this planet needs it. We need it. All life on this planet needs it. And millionaires, get behind it. Do something that serves the future.
Well spoken. Thank you all. I've got a break here, Sarah. I have other responsibilities this afternoon, but let's visit this again.
Yes.
As this unfolds, as this new technique, this new promising technique with the enhanced scalar energy sessions, energy is responsible for nature. And the
Mm-hmm.
more we understand energy, the greater our ability to address nature, to control nature, and to make nature, if you will, our servant.
Remember what God said, for every disease, there's a cure a few feet away. Well, the cure is right there in the energy, folks, right? All we've got to do is tap into it. So please go to theorchardofwisdom.org and look at our mentors and practitioners. Tom's shows that he's done with me, and we've done a lot through the years on many different subjects. Please go and listen to those as well. And of course, he will be back, and we're going to keep this going. We're going to document it as it goes, but we're
Yes.
inviting you to be a part of it. Remember, 15 days free that you can sign up for there. Just get in on it, and you will see the difference beautifully, subtly over time, and you will see how this works. And get behind him, because the only way we're going to see a difference in the world is if we step up and be the difference. So let's get behind Tom, because he's certainly trailblazing along here. So, Tom, wonderful to have you here again.
Oh, it's a pleasure.
Always
Thank you.
so illuminating, and it just makes so much sense. It really does. And it's time that we stepped into common sense because let's face it, we've been acting rather stupid for quite a long time.
God bless everybody. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And to everyone else out there, the solutions are there. Get behind them. Sign up with Tom. Start taking the journey. Document the journey. Let us be a part of the future. All right? Leave the past behind. It's not serving us. Until next time, bye for now. We hope that you enjoyed the show. There are so many more for you here on selfdiscoverywisdom.com. Just go to the podcast tab at the top there and you will see all the many genres and all 3,000 shows ready for your listening. We are here to serve you, to help you on your journey of life, and we know that through inspiration it begets invitation. We are supported by you, the listeners, and those that we interview. Anything that you can spare us in donation would be greatly accepted, and we do hope that you enjoy the next show.